Vince!
Yes.
Back! Well, I'm back. You never left.
You are.
Back for another episode of The Clinical Dose. We've got episode number 26 coming your way, guys. 5 of the best questions. Vince, let's dive straight in.
Let's do it. What is one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time competitor? From Swole Cookie from Instagram Q&A.
Man, I personally get this question more frequently than you would suspect.
Okay, I don't.
I get asked this all the time. It's been a long time since I've been a first-time competitor, though. I did my first show in 2004.
Yeah.
So
wow.
17 years ago. Whereas your first show was not too long ago, was
2016.
Yeah.
4 years,
Okay,
5
nice.
years
That's
now.
still some time, but you're more recent than I am.
I am, yeah.
What advice would you give based on your experience as a first-time competitor, or what would you do differently? Really, is the question.
I mean, I would do everything differently.
All right, Vince. What piece of advice would you give back to first-time competing Vince? One piece.
I mean, my first time, I didn't quite come in lean enough, so start early.
Yeah.
Give yourself enough time. A lot of people will cut it short. They might think for their first time, 20 weeks is enough. Yeah. It's probably not.
Well, and this is the one piece of advice
give yourself time.
That I consistently give when I get asked this question. I say give yourself twice as much time as you think you'll need.
Yeah.
So if you're planning to prep for 12 weeks, start 24 weeks out. If you're planning to prep for 20 weeks, start 40 weeks out. If you're planning to prep for 6 months, give yourself an entire year. The reason why I say that, firstly, is because of your dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Is you're never gonna, you can't possibly come in lean enough in your first show because you just don't know how your body's going to respond when it gets lean.
Yeah.
And you know, whether you have the mental fortitude to push through, whether you need to implement different techniques like carb cycling or high-low days or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And the more time you have, the more ability you have to make mistakes and still make it to the stage.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I think, fall into the trap, Vince, of they see the pros, right? And they see the pros, you know, most pro bodybuilders will prep for usually 12 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Typically 12, 14 week prep. But these are the best of the best.
They are.
Right?
Yeah.
They've been competing for 10, 15, 20 plus years. They never get excessively fat in the off season.
I was about to say, you never really, they always have abs.
So the starting point is you know, much better than most people.
Yeah.
So that's my one piece of advice, guys. As a first-time competitor, however long you are planning to prep for, give yourself twice as much time and start your prep twice as far out as you think you'll need to.
Yeah.
Next question.
Hypothetically, you know COVID was coming. What is one business decision you would have made? Gavin Larry 22 from Instagram Q&A. So before COVID actually hit and the business decisions you have made, because that's easy to think about.
Yeah.
I guess hindsight, really. What's one thing you wish you could
How
have?
far before do you know?
Oh, that's
you
it.
know,
That's
we
it,
talking?
yeah.
Because that's a big variable, right? Like you're
It is,
talking, you know, you get a month's heads up. So like in January last year, you get a heads up, or are we talking you got 12 months? You know, because business decisions are being made all the time.
Let's go, just for hypothetically for this question.
Yeah.
COVID really hit in March.
Yeah.
Let's go January, start of the year.
Yeah.
You knew 3 months, she's going to hit the fan.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Man, honestly, I wouldn't have changed a thing, really.
Yeah.
I think in hindsight, and I'm probably, you know, definitely from people that I know, one of the very fortunate business owners that's in this position is that I wouldn't have changed a thing. Because I think really every business decision that I made when leading up to, because we kind of got, as a business, and you would know this, we got hit by the bushfires first, right, in January.
Yeah, well.
And then we kind of got a little heads up internationally with international logistics about this COVID thing, because it started affecting freight lines in February.
It did, yeah.
So we did kind of get, you know, a little head start, really, a head start insight on what most of the population was experiencing when it came to COVID. But if you're talking literally a couple of months before, I probably wouldn't change a thing. If you're talking like 2 years before, I probably would have rethought the retail store expansion. Yeah, definitely. And you know, had I known that governments were going to shut down entire cities and shopping centres, and you know, because all of our retail stores are in shopping centres. So,
and that was one of our biggest hit areas.
Huge. Huge. So yeah, I think it really depends on how far back you go, Gavin, and you know what lead time you have as a heads up to COVID hitting. Yeah. But if it's only a few months, I probably wouldn't change a thing.
There you go.
Really.
Yeah.
Next question.
Has coronavirus virus changed your business plan for the next few years? So ongoing, if so, and why? From Spencer75 UK from the Instagram Q and or DMs, my DMs.
Yeah, so great question, Phil. And this kind of leads, it's kind of a segue from the previous question, right? Definitely one of the, and it's a timely question because you would know, Vince, that I started at the end of last year and have spent the first few months of this year reviewing the 5-year business vision, implementing our goals for this year as a vision, as a business, because the 5-year vision that I set, really the last time I kind of did it was when we moved into this building, so 2017, 2018, has changed significantly for a bunch of reasons, but the pandemic being a big one. I think really the biggest part of the business plan that has changed here, Phil, is probably bricks and mortar retail.
Yeah.
You know, we had plans, we had plans in 2000, thank God that we didn't do this.
Yeah, well.
We had plans in 2019 to roll out a retail store network like we'd built in South Australia in Victoria, in Melbourne. So the goal was to do 4 or 5 stores in 2019, 4 or 5 stores in 2020. Had we done that and the lockdown that Melbourne went through in 2020, I count my blessings every day.
It would have been a bad time.
Every day it would have been a complete shit show. So really, in so far as how has the pandemic significantly affected the 5-year vision and the 5-year business plan moving forward is definitely with bricks and mortar retail. We really had to kind of rethink how we plan on doing that. We've got a phone call question coming in there. Vince, phone a friend. How we're doing that and what that looks like over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Next question.
Is there a good supplement for joint health? Knees and elbows are tender. From
Ben Donahue.
That's the one. But I was trying to break it up. Then I'm like, Bendon? I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Ben Donahue, 85. What do you reckon, Vince? What's your joint support supplement of choice?
Core Flex capsules, because the powder is 1, discontinued, 2, because it tastes terrible.
Yeah, and that's why they discontinued it. It was bad.
But
it was bad, man.
The Core Flex capsules have been amazing, especially for my knee health, my shoulder problems at the moment. That's what I've been using, and it's great.
Listen, man, you can't go past, if you want world-class, top-shelf joint support, which if you have problems with your knees and elbows and shoulders and hips and all that shit, you definitely do. You can't go past Core Flex. It is expensive, I will put that out there, but you get what you pay for. If you're after something that's a little cheaper, but is not as top shelf, not as world class, probably another one to consider is First Form's joint support, which is also
joint mobility or
joint mobility. It's a cissus-based. It's cissus, another ingredient. Primarily, cissus is the active ingredient, which I'm a big fan of for joint support and collagen regeneration in particular. That's probably slightly cheaper, not as complete, but depending on your price point, could be an option for you as well. Last question.
What is it about Doug Miller's supplement lines that make them stand out so much? From Logan Bounty 18 from Instagram Q&A.
Speaking of Core Flex.
Yeah.
Listen, man, Doug has a bunch of supplement lines. He has Core Nutritionals, obviously, which is his baby.
They might not know about the other two.
Should we drop it? He's pretty open with it. So Core Nutritionals is Doug's OG supplement line. He then started Merica Labs in 2016, 2017,
around then, I reckon.
Somewhere in there. Merica Labs, then Merica Energy, which is, I guess, a spin-off from Merica Labs, which is the RTD energy drinks. Then Arms Race Nutrition started in 2019. And as far as I know, that's all he's got at the moment. For now.
Doug's always full of surprises.
He is. He might be working on some things in the background, but he's just rebranded Core, so I think that's probably taken up a bunch of his time. So he's got, 3 legitimate supplement brands, an energy drink brand. Back to the question, what makes him stand out so much? It's experience. Like Doug's been doing this a long time, guys. He's been doing it longer than I have. I think he started in like the early 2000s. So we're coming up to like 20 years of experience here. And you can't buy experience. It's, he's had experience in building brands. He's had experience in obviously formulating products. He's had experience in what consumers want, what consumers don't want, the difference between benefits and features, international logistics, international supply chain, domestic supply. There's just so much experience, as you would expect, being in the game for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think that's just what makes them stand out so much. You know, you have a lot of these new brands that come into the industry. Guys been in the industry a couple of years. They go, yeah, I want to, start my own supplement brand, come up with a half decent formula, half decent label. Don't really understand about marketing, branding, distribution, or any of the behind the scenes things that are required to make a brand click and to make a brand work. And then you're comparing them to someone who's had 20 years experience in the industry and has learnt all of these lessons. Well, that's the difference.
And even then, the branding that Doug puts together for his supplement lines matches the formulas and the product that he's selling.
Yep.
So it's just that synergistic view between all those kind of things that you listed.
Yeah, but you know, he's got the Midas touch.
He does,
really,
yeah.
At the moment. Vince, that's a wrap.
That's it.
For this episode of The Clinical Dose. Guys, if you've got a question that you'd like us to answer in the very next episode, post it in a comment down below on the YouTube channel. That's where Vince picks them from first.
Yep.
Before we go to Instagram, the Team MassiveJoes Facebook group, so on and so forth. But comments down below get preference, so that's where you want to post your question for the next episode. Vince, anything else you want to add?
That's it for this
guys. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel. Turn your post notifications on your mobile, your cell phone, your desktop PC, and whatever other device you're watching this video on, so you don't miss a beat when it comes to all these new episodes of The Clinical Dose dropping on a weekly basis. Until next time, Vince, where are we coming to and from, man?
MassiveJoes.com.
Stay massive. Thank you for tuning in to this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.